Want to experience the magic of Disneyland without breaking the bank? Well, you're in luck because we've got the ultimate money-saving tips to help you plan an amazing Disneyland trip on a budget.
From cheap tickets to affordable hotels and insider tricks, we've got everything you need to know, so let's dive in.
First up, when should you go? If you want to save money and avoid crowds, you'll want to try to book your trip when the parks are less busy. The best times to visit are after the holiday rush in mid-January to mid-March, late April, or mid-September to mid-November. Yes, this last section is during the Halloween season, but it is statistically shown that there are less crowds during this time.
Basically, avoid holidays and school breaks. Even during these slower times, you will want to try and avoid weekends with holidays. And here's a pro tip. Go midweek Tuesday to Thursday for even lower prices on tickets, flights, and hotels.
Since we don't have kids, we always plan our vacations around off-season times. Our personal favorite times to visit are January, April, and September. As Canadians, there are no bad or cold times to visit California, so any of those times are a good time for us. If you are based in a warm climate though, you may want to remember to pack for those slightly cooler temps if you plan to visit in January.
We have found that right after Labor Day and the beginning of September is a fantastic time to visit. The parks are decorated for Halloween, Haunted Mansion has its awesome Nightmare Before Christmas overlay up, and kids have just started school so parents are unlikely to pull them out for a Disney vacation. Let us know in the comments what your favorite time of year to visit is.
Next, let's talk about tickets. There are numerous options of places to get Disneyland tickets. Straight from Disneyland is obviously a good choice because it's right from the source, but there are also some sites that sell discounted Disney tickets.
Some trusted discount sites are Undercover Tourist, Getaway Today, and Costco Travel. These sites are able to sell these tickets because they have official partnerships with Disney. They purchase tickets from Disney in bulk to get a wholesale discount and then resell them to us at a discounted rate.
These sites are nice because not only do they give us discounts on tickets that we will be buying anyways, but some of them offer refund policies, which the Disney website does not do. We usually buy our tickets from Undercover Tourist and have had zero issues. This is not a paid endorsement or anything, I'm giving you my honest opinion.
Also, the more days you go, the cheaper it is per day, so consider a multi-day pass. If you do purchase a multi-day ticket, you also have to then consider if you want to visit one park per day or if you'd like to upgrade to a park hopper. Visiting one park per day is cheaper, but being able to park hop between Disneyland and California Adventure is always great to maximize your experience. This is where you have to decide if the actual cost is worth it for you.
As Canadians who only visit once a year, we always opt in for the park hopper upgrade. Yes, it is more expensive, but as somewhat infrequent travelers to Disneyland, we find it allows us to have as much freedom as possible when we are there.
And lastly, if you're a local, look for Southern California resident deals. And if you're a military family, check for those discounts too. Disneyland will sometimes have promotions as well that you will need to keep your eyes out for. We always pay attention to the Canadian resident deals, so you should make sure if they are currently offering anything to help you out as well.
Disneyland hotels are magical, but also super expensive. Though it is great to be on property, the nice part about Disneyland is that there are tons of hotels right outside the park gates that can put you in very close walking distance of the resort. Keep your options open by making sure to look at good neighbor hotels or Airbnbs within walking distance to save money on parking.
I know a lot of people like to stay right on the Disney property, and honestly, in Walt Disney World, that makes sense. But in Anaheim, there are so many hotels right outside the gates that can actually put you closer to the Esplanade than some of the on-site hotels.
We always stay just off property, right on South Harbor Boulevard. For booking hotels, we make sure to check various hotel booking websites like Kayak, Priceline, Hotwire, and Expedia for deals. You can find everything from super budget hotels to quite nice hotels that are all within walking distance of the parks.
The last hotel we stayed at was the Grand Legacy Hotel. It had comfy rooms, was nice and quiet, and it was closer to walk to the parks than the Disneyland Hotel and Pixar Place. And not only that, it was about a third of the price of Pixar Place, the cheapest hotel on Disneyland property. Let us know in the comments what hotel you've stayed at near Disneyland and if you would stay there again.
We've talked about tickets and hotels, but what about the best way to get to Disneyland? We, as I'm sure most of you as well, fly into Disneyland. There are 2 airports you could fly into, LAX in Los Angeles and John Wayne Airport in Orange County. Though John Wayne Airport is closer, we usually fly into LAX because the flights from Canada to LAX are usually better times and less or no layovers.
We make sure to pay close attention to flight deals and book when we see a good deal. It goes hand in hand with our tips about the best times to go. The flights are going to be the most expensive during the holidays and school breaks, and least expensive during the off-season. Google Flights is a great tool to use to see all the flights around certain dates to give you a good picture of when to book.
Once you make it to California, you still have to get to the park. If the purpose of your trip is just a Disneyland vacation, we recommend skipping the rental car and using a shuttle, rideshare, or public transit to get to your hotel. As we mentioned before, we like to stay close enough to walk to the parks, so this way we have to take 1 Uber into the hotel and 1 Uber back to the airport at the end of the trip. Other than that, we don't need to pay for any transportation.
If you live close enough to drive, or if you are visiting more than just Disneyland and need a rental car, make sure to pay attention to parking fees. The hotels around the area will have parking fees, so take that into consideration when booking your hotel. However, the parking fees at the hotel will be cheaper than parking at Disneyland, which costs $35 per day. This is another added benefit to staying close by so you don't have to pay for hotel parking and Disneyland parking. If you do stay further away from the park, some hotels offer free shuttles to the park, which can save you some big bucks along the way.
Okay, we've talked about everything you need to know to get to the parks, so now let's get into some budget-friendly tips after you stepped through the gates. First up, let's talk about Disneyland's Skip the Line service, Lightning Lane. If you haven't been to the parks in a while, this is the same as what they used to call Fast Pass, except now you have to pay for it.
There are 3 different options for Lightning Lane passes. Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, which allows you to book priority access to most attractions throughout the parks. Lightning Lane Single Pass, which is for the top tier rides that must be booked separately from the main multi-pass rides. And Lightning Lane Premier Pass, which gives you the most freedom to skip the lines, but also costs the most.
You can purchase a Lightning Lane Multi-Pass either with your tickets before you enter or on the day of your visit via the Disneyland app. Lightning Lane Single Passes can be purchased the day of your visit in the app. And Lightning Lane Premier Pass can be purchased up to 7 days before your trip.
Given that this is a budget-friendly video, do I recommend getting Lightning Lane Premier Pass? No. This will put you back upwards of $400 per person per day. Not the most budget-friendly option. But what about the other Lightning Lane options? They are much more reasonably priced, but still an additional cost on top of your already paid for ticket price.
You technically don't need to purchase Lightning Lane Multi-Pass or Single Pass, but they can add some benefit if you're only there for a limited time and don't visit often. Our advice? If you're going during some of those non-peak times we talked about earlier, you may not need to get either of these options. The lines should be reasonable waits and allow you to get most, if not all, of what's on your to-do list done without the additional cost. You can also take advantage of single rider lines on rides like Radiator Springs Racers to help alleviate some wait times without having to buy a Lightning Lane Single Pass for that ride.
If you're going during busier times of the year, it might be worth it to purchase these Lightning Lanes. You have to decide for yourself and your party if the extra cost per person is worth reducing your wait times and increasing how much you can do each day.
Let's talk about food. Food inside Disneyland can be quite pricey, so we recommend bringing in your own food. Pack snacks, sandwiches, and refillable water bottles to save some serious cash.
There is a CVS and a Walgreens on South Harbor Boulevard where you can pick up some snacks and meal options at a much cheaper rate than in the parks. We usually hit up one of these stores and grab some water, snacks, and some Tupperware containers to keep our food in while we are in the park.
If you do want to eat in the parks, make sure to check out all of your options. Character dining is expensive but super magical. Is it worth the price? That's up to you. Quick service options can have some decently priced options with good portion sizes, which makes them much easier to swallow the cost. And don't forget, you can ask for free water cups at any quick service spot instead of buying expensive sodas or water bottles right in the parks.
Disney merch is so tempting. Who doesn't want the perfect souvenir to remember the perfect day? And you know who knows this? Disney. Their stuff is great, but it can be pricey. Here are some strategies to avoid breaking the bank on merch.
First off, set a budget. You know you're going to buy stuff while in the park, but if you go in with a plan, you can keep yourself on track. Figure out what you can spend on souvenirs that keeps you in your budget and stick to it.
And don't forget, you don't have to buy something from the park. There are a lot of souvenir shops close by the parks that offer some great Disney merch at a much more reasonable price.
And you can also buy certain items before you even make it to the parks to save even more money. Buy Disney-themed shirts, ears, and accessories at Target, Walmart, or Amazon before your trip. And there you have it. Everything you need to do Disneyland on a budget. Disneyland is the happiest place on Earth, so keep it happy on your wallet as well. Let us know in the comments, what's your favorite Disneyland money-saving tip? Do you have any other secret tips that we didn't mention? If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more theme park tips, and follow us on Instagram at Canuck Park Hopper for even more travel hacks. See you next time, Park Hoppers!